Hello everyone and welcome back to WhatCulture Gaming. My name is Jules Gill and I'm joined by the man who always makes my teraflop very hard. It is Scott Tailford.
A terrifying flop.
And this is the thing. Obviously the Game Awards have just happened and we've been talking about the Xbox Series X before, and now we're going to be going over to the other side of the coin and talking about the PlayStation 5, which didn't have as grand a reveal as the Series X. It didn't even have, well, any real reveal.
It's weird.
Weirdly, we saw a game before we've seen the console, which is quite a strange thing. So what we're going to do is break down what information we do know and talk about the game itself. You know what that means, and I forgot to do it in the previous one.
Oh no!
It's time to hit that jingle.
Hot dang, there's news, give it all you got. I guess it's time for Jules and Scott.
We're back in the room. So let's talk about the PS5.
Yes.
What do we know about this game?
Well,
sorry, the console.
That's the thing though with the PS5, the way that Sony have rolled it out, like they did one interview in The Verge, or they've done two now, and they're kind of holding back. I think they're waiting to see what Microsoft's going to do. And if you can go watch our other video.
Well, they held back too far because now the Xbox is out.
And it's like at this point, Microsoft are like, well, this is our new thing. It's a big totemic monolithic looking thing, and that's what we're going to be going forward with, and here's some gameplay. And on the Sony side, like they still haven't revealed what the take-home console version is going to look like. We've seen those weird V-style engine jetpack things.
Yes.
But Godfall is the first PS5 game coming from Gearbox on publisher and being developed by Counterplay Games. But yeah, the fact that this is coming out in holiday 2020 means that it will be on PS5 alongside.
It'll be a launch title.
Yeah, it should be a launch title or maybe a cross-gen title, but either way, it's clearly being developed on PS5 hardware. So we can take this as the first PS5 gameplay.
Yes.
Now looking at the trailer, it's like it said it's all in-engine footage as well at the beginning.
Yep.
For me, it didn't blow me away. It looked like something that we could just get right now.
Well, the thing is that I was looking at the smoothness, I was looking at the particles that were going on as well, and I do find it very, I find it's a bold move to try and, when publishers put out in-game footage rather than trailers, I actually respect it more than somebody who puts out a trailer, because a trailer is something that is fantastic, but it's so curtailed and conditioned that you're never really getting a full reflection of the product.
No.
You're just getting the sort of like the tasty bits of it. Whereas this, it's kind of like you see it for all of its flaws and its benefits. And while there were some bits that did look a bit janky, I didn't feel like the animation was as smooth as maybe I would have liked it. I did like the fact that there was so much going on, like almost to the point where I felt a bit motion sick watching it. But that also might be because we had the staff party the night before. I'm feeling a bit queasy.
I don't know how much, because for me it looks like because there's some details that they've put out as part of an official statement as well. So I'll read them. The game is apparently going to be a looter slasher, which almost made me throw up. And it's going to be in third person, so it'll be one of the first times that they've specialised in a third person game outside of Borderlands. But it's bringing across. It sounds like they're basically trying to do full melee combat what Borderlands did with guns,
which makes perfect sense because it's a formula that they know very, very well. The problem is that when I think of anything that's like hack and slash and then adding in a loot element to it, I just think of needless, spongy, grindy stuff. Because like Borderlands, it manages to do the looter shooter very well because of the fact it always makes you feel like you're damaging no matter what you're doing. I always find that when you add melee into the combat, you are basically like, you're literally just slashing at something and it's just bouncing off bullets. You can kind of be like, oh, they're hitting different parts or whatever, or you've got distance to kill them before they get there. Here it's just kind of like, oh, I'm mobbed again. I'm mobbed again.
My thing with melee
Dynasty Warriors, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I love that series, but I don't want it to be a bloody looter.
No,
slasher.
My thing with melee style loot-based stuff is that for me, they only ever design a finite amount of actual animations for attacking, so you tend to be doing the exact same thing throughout the whole way through that game, except that the numbers go up, which can kind of feel quite numbing over time. But yeah, in terms of the footage that they showed off, it was like 3 different warriors that are sort of like spectral knights. It looks almost like Warhammer-ish, just kind of crossed with Destiny.
How dare you?
Big armor. With the hat?
I'm not gonna lie, I think the Warhammer stuff's cooler than this. This looks quite generic.
I said kinda.
I'll tell you what it reminded me of. It reminded me of Darksiders.
Yeah, the Darksiders is in itself kind of like a chunky version of, is it Joe Madureira's the artist? Or Madureira, some of the stuff that you can tell that his reference points are almost like Blizzard in scope kind of thing, or old school Warhammer. They're kind of going for what feels like a mesh of what'll work, quote unquote, in terms of just like, okay, what boxes can we tick? And it's like, well, Destiny style armor based, like super soldiers, a looter slasher, like a loot based progression, and way over the top group based combat. And that for me is something that I kind of hoped we'd leave behind as we went into the new generation, because they are everywhere right now.
It was weird because the trailer, and I know it sounds like we're bagging on this, but it's like I'm always interested to see new ideas come out. But the thing that kind of doesn't sit well with me is, why would you describe your game as a looter slasher and then show no action in it whatsoever? and make it seem instead very much that it was like a God of War clone. Because you look up, there's the Hydra in the sky, you've got the world setting of that massive tornado connecting the two realms. That was very cool. I like that. That's very high fantasy for me. But just looking at them, they seem like very generic characters. I don't know what they were going for. If they were going to do looter slasher style thing, it would have been nice to see them kill an enemy and be like, pick up something and use it.
Well,
I don't know. Like,
it sounds like that is what it is. But again, one of the statements from the official statement thing said that it's a fresh take on action RPGs by rewarding skill-based offensive gameplay and making every hit matter, which makes me think that it's a Souls game. Basically, if you were an executive trying to design the perfect game right now, it would be a multiplayer co-op, MMO with like the weird bullet sponge bosses, Dark Souls gameplay with a loot system.
Damn.
I will predict that right now.
That doesn't appeal to me in the slightest. If I want it to be like Borderlands, I want it to be over the top melee stuff. I want it to be like killing stuff, picking up something new. It's got brand new weapon set animations and stuff like that. Like I want to get into the thick of it. I want it to be a spectacle fighter like Devil May Cry.
I wish.
Or like Bayonetta, or like even like Vanquish or something.
Well, Scalebound was meant to be a spectacle fighter with a loot system. They got canned, but the nearest thing to that was Scalebound. Something else is they said that they want to feed into that yearning for the next piece of gear for your character build, so they plan on providing lots of loot to players to ensure there's meaningful impact to gameplay and play styles.
Right, I'm sorry.
Generic thing. I'm
sorry, if you're saying that if you're going to add in tons and tons of loot, you make loot meaningless because of the fact that you're adding in so much all the time.
Do you want a flame sword? Because I've got a flame sword.
Yeah, there's kind of like, do you want to upgrade it? This one's got a purple flame, but it feels, but it means so much. It means
it does 100 damage instead of 10.
Obviously, we are only critiquing this based on the information that we have provided, not just like we haven't seen very much. But it's just strange that the PS5 seems to be choosing this game to lead with. I would have thought that it would be better to push back Ghost of Tsushima and have that as the standalone watch style.
That did get a new trailer, but it didn't.
It looked bloody great.
Yeah. But I think that's still very much a PS4 game, and like it might be cross-generation compatible with the next console cycle. But in regards to Godfall, it's a brand new game coming out at the same time as the PS5 comes out. So like, assumedly, that's more in line with what the PS5 will look like.
Strange though, very strange to have that as the leading thing.
I think Sony are just they've never been a company that leads. Like they did with the original PlayStation, and obviously the PS2 did extremely well. But they tend to hang back. It was like, well, Microsoft did achievements, so then they did trophies. Someone else does VR, so then they start doing PSVR. They tend to be someone who looks at what works and then do that. And like obviously with this generation, or the one that's like ending, Microsoft put their foot in their mouth with the whole DRM on like always online type stuff, and then they just went, okay, let's not do that. They ditched all that stuff for the Acast streaming technology, and they put that viral video out on how to share a game, and they ran away with the generation. They tend to be very reactive. So I think right now that Xbox have gone forward, we'll probably start seeing more stuff. But I think they were waiting for someone else to make the first move.
So maybe they've gone for this sort of like, let's just call it a generic like a fantasy game. So they've gone for that, and then they've just going to wait and see what Microsoft does, and then maybe go like, but here's actually like our indie stuff, and like because I bet you will see an explosion of indie games in the next thing,
probably.
Because they've obviously Hellblade has been the forerunner for Xbox this time.
Yeah, and it's just like in terms of, it is like this is going to be like by association the first PS5 game, but like I wonder how much they've thought through the optics of it, just based on they do have Ghost of Tsushima, but they don't have anything else, and they didn't hold up Tsushima as being like it's the first PS5 game, so by proxy it's fallen to Godfall,
which is strange because if you put them side by side, it is by far the stronger game. Like you look at it and the production quality of it, the way that it moves, it's just like it's a Tenchu game, and give me more Tenchu.
Give me more Tenchu. Plus there's the direct comparison between Godfall and Hellblade 2. Like if you compare the footage that's out there for the new Xbox, which Phil Spencer has said that it's running on the new Xbox, compared to this, like the new Hellblade just looks just far and away above.
Miles better.
Just sheer graphical quality or whatever. I think the new Hellblade looks phenomenal. But I think like I said, that now that Xbox has come forward, you'll probably see more dedicated PS5 stuff.
Hopefully.
But now that that's out there, people can start thinking about whatever they think of the first PS5 footage. And for us, it was kind of like, all right.
But there we go. Yes, that's been the first iteration of the PlayStation 5. Let us know what you think about it down in the comments section below. Are you excited about it? Are you a bit apprehensive? Which one do you think was better, Ghost of Tsushima or the Godfall? But let us know down below. And if you want to follow us on the socials, you can do so at RetroJave with a 0 for myself and
@/LP89.
You are damn right you can. Hope you have a fantastic day, whatever you're getting up to, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.